to Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hot the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed with living. Rep New York City, but ain't the politician. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the word of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world of what he does. Tap in.
What up, people? I said, what up, people? What up, people? Welcome to another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. Yeah. I'm back this week after giving much thought, much consideration on just saying, you know what? I'm going to take an unannounced week off to go along with the week that I'm taking off next weekend. And I'm just going to make my presence missed. But of course, I reconsider, push it back a little bit, and voila, here I am. Mike Steph in the flesh. A visionary, a revolutionary, Mike freaking Steph. Yeah. I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm not really in the greatest of moods for various reasons, and probably a lot of reasons that I don't even understand myself. But that's part of the reason why I decided to actually do this podcast, do this episode this week, because there was no news that was really pertinent for me to have to get on these YouTube streets, get on these podcasting airwaves, these audio airwaves, and give my salty thoughts, give my sprinkle of views. Because at the end of the day, we just had Super Bowl, and there's probably 1,000,001. Matter of fact, that's probably an understatement. There's 1,000,001 podcast / YouTube videos that y'all could listen to, or y'all have listened to by the time that this video even drops. So that's not really the main reason. As I've told y'all in the past, this form, in some ways, is a form of therapy. Sometimes I can be in the most crabbiest of moods, and then once I turn this microphone on, and once I start talking to y'all, once I start giving my views on whatever the topic may be for that particular week, by the time I press in record, I'm about 2 or 3 levels better than I was when I started. Will that be the case this week? Hopefully, probably, but there's no guarantee. I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet this week, but before I get into my little spiel, 4 minutes and 16 seconds in, I'm going to let y'all know the layout for what to expect on this here episode. Since I mentioned it earlier, I might as well mention it again. This will be a Super Bowl recap to a certain degree. This will be a Super Bowl centric episode in which the Kansas City Chiefs repeated and beat the San Francisco 49ers in an overtime thriller this past Sunday. I have a couple thoughts on how that game played out. I have a couple thoughts on what to expect maybe in the future concerning Kansas City, concerning Patrick Mahomes, concerning the whole franchise as a whole. And I figured I'll just put a nice bow tie on this 2023/2024 NFL season that I've been covering since the very, very effing beginning. That would be topic number one. Topic number two is actually connected to topic number one, but it's more in the entertainment field. Super Bowl halftime show. This year, we was graced by Usher for a magnificent show, if I do say so myself. But as much as everybody is applauding and giving their kudos to US H.E.R, I have, of course, I can nitpick, and that's exactly what the fuck I'm going to do. I'm going to nitpick some of the things that I saw in that performance, and a lot of it actually had nothing to do with him, but certain things I've seen and saw in that performance that I was like, it was good. It was good. But everybody's saying this is the best Super Bowl performance ever. Fuck out of here. Nah. And since that's my first F-bomb, let me put this in at the very beginning. This episode will feature explicit language, some adult themes, and probably will be very non-politically correct. So if you have a problem with that, I suggest you press that stop button or you scroll up and down your feed and look for something else. Because guess what? I ain't zipping in my lip. I ain't going to tighten my shit up. I'm going to speak my mind fully this week without any type of repercussion, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. So I guess you can call that my parental discretion advisory, which I put at the end, but will be completely effing ignored. Yeah. But yeah, there's a couple things in that performance that I had a little problem with. And just like certain things I just saw throughout the broadcast that I'm going to put my 2 cents on. So it's going to be like a salty thought to Mike Steph podcast / potpourri of bullshit part 3. Should have wrote that in the banners, but hey, maybe I'll get around to it. Maybe I won't. Yes, and that's pretty much what's on the docket this week. For those who enjoyed my wrestling centric episode, yeah, there'll probably be more to come on this road to WrestleMania. And for those who didn't, I'm sorry. Guess what? So, football season is over. Unless my Jets do something idiotic like they did last night, and as soon as it went 0-0 in overtime, you're gonna put out a fucking ad talking about, yeah, coming in April 2024, new fucking uniforms. Are you effing kidding me? Do we really need that? Do we really need a reminder that you just had uniforms? What? Did I say 5 seasons ago? So you're going to come out with a redo? In a game that last offseason, a lot of the pundits were actually predicting you to be in, including myself? That's exactly why I chose to wear this Jets t-shirt. Not to rep my team, because even my wife was like, babe, why are you wearing a Jets shirt? They weren't in the playoffs. They weren't in the Super Bowl. They didn't play last night. So in other words, what do you have that on? And quite simply, I had to think of it myself. And then I was like, you know what? This faded glory that's on my chest actually matches the mood that I'm in right now. Stuff like that, I'm going to pretty much elaborate on later on in this episode with this damn broadcast that I saw. So that's what's on deck this week. I know you're probably wondering, why the hell are you talking to us like that? Like we didn't tune in to be yelled at. I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at anybody who takes it personal. I'm yelling at anybody who can listen to it. I'm yelling at anybody who's watching it. Yeah. I'm gonna talk just like this. See how my head covers the whole screen? Yeah. I mean, shoot. This is the visual equivalent of getting that late night text that says, "Hey, what up, big head?" But yeah, I woke up today to some discerning news. Don't don't worry, nothing really, nothing health related, nothing family related, more like convenience related. These meteorologists have no idea what they're talking about. A couple weeks ago, we were expecting 3 or 4 inches or 5 inches of snow. I swear, all throughout this winter, up until a couple of weeks ago, when I think we barely got 2 inches of snow, right? All throughout this winter, no matter what channel you decided to tune in on, because I live in the city of New York. I live in Brooklyn. So you got New York 1 on Spectrum News. You got News 12, Brooklyn. You got Eyewitness News, Channel 7. You got Fox 5 News. You got NBC 4 New York. You got the CBS, the Channel 2 Evening News. You got all those type of fucking things, especially picks. News at 11, news at 5, picks in the morning with that cocksucker Byron Miranda, who luckily I haven't been watching that because guess what? My time of getting up early in the morning is gone. My daughter goes to school by herself. She's in high school. I don't got time for that now. But I digress. No matter what show you listen to, all these weathermen have been bemoaning the fact that it was going on 600 days of no snow, 650 days of no snow, almost 700 days of no snow. And I'm like, why do you care? You're getting paid anyway, right? You're getting that check deposited into your account every freaking week, every other week, once a month. No matter, I don't know how your pay schedule is, but you're getting paid, right? So why do you care on whether or not there's snow on the ground in New York City? Is it abnormal? Yeah, but guess what? A lot of things since 2020 have been abnormal out this mother effer. And I've grown to be accustomed to it. Especially being the fact that I no longer have a truck. I have a car. I've had a car, damn near. Matter of fact, this year makes 10 years. Damn, time for me to get a new car. When I had a truck, when I had a Isuzu Trooper, when I had a Dodge Durango, I could put that mother effer in 4-wheel drive and I would just get up out the bank of snow. Now with a regular freaking car, I actually have to shovel. I have to make sure I have a little bit of traction, and I have to make sure I have enough room to get up out of there. In my age of 47, going on 48, do you really think I feel like shoveling? My kids are grown. Meaning my kids, well, at least the male kids, no longer live here. So I can't say, hey, Mikey, go out, I need you to shovel my car out. Hey, Kai, I need you to go shovel my car out. That's no longer available. And nowadays, with this fucking generation, you can try to give them a 20 spot, and they'll look at you like, nigga, I ain't shoveling your car. Yo, kiss my ass. Which is crazy, but it is what it is. Once in the blue, I bump into a neighbor of mine that has a snowblower, and a couple winters ago, a lot of times, just how time will go, I'll bump into him and he would kind of get me out. But neither here nor there. I woke up to this morning when last night when I went to sleep, they were talking about, man, we probably get a slushy 1 inch. Then I woke up this morning. Matter of fact, my wife woke me up this afternoon talking about, hey, babe, guess what? I got good news. I'm like, what? She's like, I got a snow day tomorrow. A snow day? Yeah, you didn't know? No, I just woke up. Yeah. Mayor Adams, Mr. GSD, getting shit done. Yeah, all right. Good shit, dude. Mr. Mayor Adams decided to call for a snow day. So all schools are closed, at least the building, and they're going to do remote learning. I.e., My wife works in the building, means she's off. My daughter means she has to do remote learning on her laptop, iPad, whatever digital choice that she chooses. Great. I'm glad. Alternate side of the park, alternate side parking is suspended. Great. I'm fucking happy for you. Guess what? This guy has to go back to work. I've had yesterday off. I've had today off. I actually had Thursday off. I had last Friday off. So I've had 4 of the last 5 days off. And guess what? When I'm about to go back to work for my last 3 days before I have my long-awaited vacation, they're talking about 4 to 6 inches of snow, 5 to 8 inches of snow. And I know you're probably like, so? Well, unfortunately, my shoe job deals with transportation. My shoe job deals with transportation that I don't even like to utilize. I like to utilize my car. And if it's snowing, or if it's the amount of snow that they're talking about we're going to receive, guess what? I got to take my black ass on public transportation, which doesn't really matter during the afternoon. But at night, my 20-minute trek home turns into an hour and 20 minutes. That's some bullshit. After seeing all the Cretans all fucking day, I don't feel like seeing them en route home. Feel like being in my car. Feel like listening to my tunes. Feel like decompressing by myself, by my lonely, and getting home in a reasonable amount of time. That would not be possible tomorrow if we get this 5 to 8 inches that all the meteorologists, yay, we got snow. It's been a while since I've been this ornery. Even the times I've said I was going to be ornery, a lot of times within the first 5 minutes, I'm nice jovial Mike. Well, guess what? Not happening this week. So since I don't already talk your ears off for at least the last 15 minutes about my personal problems and haven't gotten to the topic at hand, I guess it's time for me to get this show on the road, right? So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Good night. And goodbye. Bang! The Kansas City Chiefs accomplished something yesterday that no team has accomplished in the last 20 years. And that's go back-to-back. Win, more importantly, win back-to-back Super Bowls. That had not been accomplished since 2004. The 2004 iteration of the New England Patriots, helmed by Bill Belichick, helmed by Tom Brady. And not only did they go back-to-back, they are now 2-0 in Super Bowls against the San Francisco 49ers. And it kind of, the result was the same. We got there in way different fashion. But the one constant, which I'll elaborate more on when I actually talk about Kyle Shanahan, because he's another constant. Same constant is they had a 10-point lead. This time they had a 10-point lead early in the game. In the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they came back from a 10-point lead midway through the fourth quarter to vanquish the dreams of 49er faithful, to make their gold rush nothing but fool's gold. You know, there's been a lot of talk in social media. There's been a lot of talk in a lot of places this season concerning the script. You know, the sports script. Implying that what we see with our eyes is already a foregone conclusion on the winner and the loser, the victor and the defeated. Now, I'm going to go back to that picture 1 minute because look at the background. Look at the colors of the Roman numerals of the Super Bowl. They're predominantly purple, purple with a tinge of red. Now, it came out, I want to say, toward the end of the season in particular, that the last couple years, the design, the colors of the Super Bowl, those particular years' Super Bowl, just coincided with the teams that faced off against each other. Prior to the matchups being known. So I believe they said it started with the Rams versus the Bengals, in which the majority of the colors were yellow and orange. Yellow for the Rams, orange for the Bengals. Then last year, in the desert, you had red for the Chiefs, green for the Eagles. And this year, you had red, presumably for San Francisco, and you have purple for Baltimore. And because people don't know how to keep their mouth fucking closed, the NFL had to do a swerve. They do a swerve, and oh, y'all think it's gonna be San Francisco and Baltimore? Guess what? We got a trick for you. We're gonna let Baltimore get to the precipice of the Super Bowl, and then we're gonna change the script just so slightly, because it's in their better interest to have the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. 2 weeks of Taylor Swift lead up with Travis Kelce, a rematch from a Super Bowl a couple years ago. All the storylines wrote themselves. Can Mahomes win 3 out of 4? Can this Kansas City Chiefs be that dynastic team that people are doubting them? Even 4 Super Bowl appearances in 5 years does not make a dynasty. So they say. Because that's the case, the Buffalo Bills in the early 90s, were they a dynasty? They were 0-4. Dallas Cowboys was a dynasty in the early to mid 90s, 3 out of 4. The Patriots had 2 dynastic runs, 3 out of 4 from 2001 to 2004, and then a late resurgence from, what was it, 2013 to 2017. See, I had to change course a little bit because I was getting way ahead of myself. Yeah, the Chiefs are dynastic. Yeah, I was starting to go into a history, or just looking back at history. But history actually repeated itself in other ways. Like I said, 49ers coughing up a 10-point lead, Chiefs beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl, etc. This game yesterday, there was a lot of subplots. I want to say the first half, the 49ers played exceptional on defense. They played disciplined. They stayed in their running lanes, or should I say their rushing lanes. They didn't allow Mahomes to scramble out and get those back-breaking scrambles that ultimately he got So at the end of the game, ultimately he got on that final drive in overtime. Bosa and Young were fearsome. Bosa and Young were dominant the majority of the first half. Fred Warner was good in the middle. I mean, their defense held up their end of the bargain. Their offense moved the ball against the Chiefs, but mistakes kept shooting. They kept on shooting themselves in the foot. How many times did we have false start penalties? How many times ever? Because he's not known as a fumbler. But if you could look back at it, one of the turning points early in the game were Christian McCaffrey coughing it up in the red zone. Had a chance to really put the foot on the throat, foot on the neck of the of the Chiefs early. They neglected to do so. The Chiefs, they were not without fault themselves. They had penalties, both on the offense and defense. A lot of times, the 49ers were controlling the line of scrimmage. The whole first half, halfway through the second half. Adjustments were made, so forth. Got that. Purdy, a lot of people expected Brock Purdy to come out tentative, to come out nervous. The moment too big for him. No, it wasn't. And to be honest, he played an exceptional game. Did he miss on a couple plays, a couple throws? Yes, but I'll give credit to the Chiefs defense, specifically Chris Jones, in applying that pressure that forced Purdy to release that ball a second before he wanted to have to cause the overthrow, cause the inaccuracies. He bought himself time and time again, and got himself out of sacks that a couple years ago Jimmy G would have succumbed to. Debo was a monster. Yes, I know the stats might not back it up, but he came in with a fractured a fractured shoulder, which I wasn't aware that it was actually a fracture. But he came in with a fractured shoulder, and it looked like his hamstring locked up on him, and yet he was still giving 110%. Some would say that the downfall of the 49ers would be coaching, and I think they would be correct. And this is me saying that the 49ers didn't lose this game. The Chiefs won this game. But I would be I would not be telling the truth if I didn't say the 49ers didn't have ample opportunity to take control of this game, and they just let opportunity after opportunity fall between their grasp. And that was not helped by coaching decisions. This is something that I've discussed with my partner on Hidden Gems Football, the Mojo King. And Kyle Shanahan has shown in the past when he has faith in his quarterback. Do y'all not remember, I think, that championship game in which they defeated Green Bay and got the berth into the Super Bowl for the first matchup between these two teams in 2020? And I believe Kyle Shanahan allowed Jimmy G to throw the ball once or twice in that whole second half. Now, don't get me wrong, they didn't really need to, But there was a lot of times in the time that Jimmy G was the quarterback of this team, you could tell play calling was devised of, okay, we need to hide the quarterback. My plays are going to get us to this level. The quarterback, please just don't do nothing stupid. Just go by the script. Especially this year, especially in this postseason, there's been time and time again that Kyle Shanahan has had too much confidence in his quarterback, i.e., Brock Purdy. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't pay off because they got to the Super Bowl, but when you have the Chiefs, when your defense is balling out and keep them to 3 points in the first half, and in the third quarter specifically, you're stunning their offense. You're causing them to have punt after punt after punt after punt. And then when you receive that ball with a chance to go up 17-6, 13-6, 17-3, instead of giving the rock to McCaffrey, sans the one fumble, he was controlling the game early in the game. The second half, beginning of the second half, I think the run to pass ratio was 7-1. At one point, I believe Brock threw it, I want to say 6 to 7 straight times. And that led to a couple 3-and-outs. That was the opportunity that the 49ers had and needed to seize in order for them to put enough space in there, put enough space between them and Patrick Mahomes in order to hold off the inevitable onslaught that was coming in the last stage of the game. On the contrary, when it comes to the Chiefs, their formula, especially in the postseason, has been keep it within a distance, and we got the best quarterback in the league. And all we need to do is keep it within one score. And I'll roll the dice. Patrick Mahomes had to tell himself, once again, no need to put my implant on this game until necessary. And then that was the last drive of the game to set them up for the game-tying field goal. And that last drive in overtime in which they marched down the field for the touchdown to effectively end the game. And this is going to be a trivia answer for years to come. Who scored the game-winning, Super Bowl winning touchdown in Super Bowl 58 for the Kansas City Chiefs that was not on their opening day roster? This guy, McCall Hardman. This guy, McCall Hardman. The same McCall Hardman who almost cost the Kansas City Chiefs a game in the divisional round against the Buffalo Bills by fumbling on the 1-yard line into the end zone and snuffing out a potential scoring drive. The same McCall Hardman that a certain team in Gotham, and you know what, tell you the truth, this is actually his number. It's not his shirt, but it's actually his number. Certain team in Gotham that wears green decided to allow to go and leave because, you know, he wasn't all that was cracked up to be, and he didn't fit the system, and you know, they just decided to cut bait with him and allow him to go back home. Yeah, McCole Hardman scored the winning touchdown. Now, there was some chatter, a lot of chatter during the game, especially in the first half. I believe there was there was a holding penalty that snuffed out a drive by one of the backup tight ends. And Travis Kelce, with all of his intensity, stormed up to Andy Reid and bumped Andy Reid and got in his face and was like, keep me in the fucking game. Now, salty A.J. Brown, wide receiver from the Philadelphia Eagles, tweeted out, man, I know if that was me, they would have kicked me out the league. Trying to imply of a double standard when it comes to not only the Kansas City Chiefs, not only Travis Kelce, but due to the connections of Travis Kelce, of why he was so demonstrative and why he was, I wouldn't say borderline disrespectful to Andy Reid, but Andy Reid, get back of shells, brush that off. They said that Kelce apologized afterward, and you could tell in the expression, Andy really didn't feel no way about it. Like, he saw what it was. He did his ego. He put his male ego to the side of, yo, dude, like, really, you trying to disrespect me on the spotlight of the year? Like, you know what? And guess what? Kelce came out in that second half, show improved, 8 catches for like 90-something yards after being held to 1 catch for 1 yard in the first half. I mean, shit. Maybe that lit a fire upon the rest of the team. Who knows? But that brings me to this question. Can the dynastic Chiefs pull off a three-peat? Can they? I mean, this year, if there was going to be any year that you would have thought that they would be prone to be eliminated, this would have been the year. As I've said in the past, their wide receiver core leaves much to be desired. Kadarius Toney was left off the roster for this game. He was a DMP. Rashee Rice had a moment of his own in that last drive last drive in regulation, in which the replay shows that he was open per se, and that Patrick Mahomes went for the kill and tried to force it into Travis Kelce, and he was kind of upset, like, yo, I was open. But while a lot of people like, well, you know, everybody knows why he got the ball, why he was getting the ball, because they wanted the fairy tale ending. Travis Kelce scoring the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift in attendance. I'm not even thinking it that deep. I'm thinking of Travis Kelce has been there for the last 3 Super Bowl victories. Not only the last 3 Super Bowl victories, that's Patrick Mahomes, bro. Not only that, veteran. Not saying that Rashee Rice has not held up his end of the bargain this year, but game on the line, you can't expect Mahomes to be like, yeah, I'm going to go throw it to the rookie. No, I'm going to throw it to my boy. I'm going to throw it to the dude that 99% of the time, when I throw it in his direction, he comes down with it. Can't fault him for that. Can the dynastic Chiefs pull off a three-peat? The AFC is getting stronger by the week, by the month, by the day, by the hour, by the minute, by the second. Just in their division, you have Sean Payton who will have the quarterback of his choice next season. And it's going to be formidable because that team gave the Chiefs all they could handle in their 2 games this season. You have the Las Vegas Raiders once again with H.E.R on the sidelines. So a reinvigorated team, a reinvigorated fan base that's not going to give up anything easy. You have the newbie of the division, Jim Harbaugh, taking over for a talent-laden team in the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert at his disposal. So that's just in their division. Then you have Joe Burrow returning to the Cincinnati Bengals. Everybody know Joe Burrow has been a pain in the Kansas City Chiefs' ass for the last couple of seasons. And tell you the truth, they should be thanking their lucky stars he wasn't in the postseason this year. You have Lamar Jackson with a chip on the shoulder, trying to prove all the naysayers wrong, and hopefully prove himself wrong on the mindset that he had in that AFC Championship game. You have the Cleveland Browns. Man, no, you don't have the Cleveland Browns. Fuck them. Pittsburgh is always going to be competitive. If they get a quarterback, and then you got the AFC East. You got Buffalo Bills. Once again, they still got Josh Allen. As long as you got Josh Allen, you got a shot. You got a shot to make the playoffs, and you got a shot to get eliminated. You have the Miami Dolphins, who should have some self-reflection this season on, okay, we've gotten to this point. Now, what do we need to do to get over the hump, not only in our division, but when we get to the playoffs, out of that wild card game? Because right now, we are not at the Chiefs level. We're not even at Buffalo's level. And then last but not least, you have my Jets, who will hopefully have a healthy Aaron Rodgers in tow and a make-or-break year for the franchise, for the quarterback, for the head coach, for the GM, pretty much for everybody that wears the green and white or the green and gray or whatever hell kind of uniform they're going to come up with. The Dynasty Chiefs, that's just the AFC. And tell you the truth, that's all they need to be concerned with themselves, because the NFC, you got Detroit, unless they stop shooting themselves in the foot, will not be in the big game. You got San Francisco. I think they're in Kansas. They're in San Francisco's head right now. If they face off again, 10 matchups, Chiefs gonna win 7. Philly, fuck Philly. Dallas, yeah, are you serious? Dallas? Wake me up when Dallas actually gets to the championship game, and then we could talk. And tell you the truth, that's pretty much it in the NFC. Sorry, that's it. That's it. But one thing that's been proven, both in football and in basketball, these long runs, these consecutive long runs in the postseason, to the Super Bowl, to the championship game, to you're adding wear and tear onto your body. Travis Kelce, yes, he was able to flip the switch during the postseason. Can he do it for another season? But the one reason why I would say that Mahomes, the one reason I'll say that the Chiefs have a chance to pull out the three-peat is because I already just said it. I spilled the beans. Mahomes. I can't bet against Mahomes. I can't. I tried it 2 times this postseason, and I had egg on my face both times. This year, this is the first year I was actually pulling against them. That won't happen again. Unless they're going against my Jets, which probably won't happen because like that would actually really we actually need to get into the postseason for that to happen. But until that happens, yeah, dynastic. Yeah, I think they can pull off the three-peat. I really do. I really do. Now, Kyle Shanahan. Will he ever win the big one? Will he? Please, please. Kyle Shanahan winning the big one. That's almost like, look at this. Look at this dude. Kyle Shanahan will never, ever win the big one. It goes back. And I was cutting him some slack. I was saying, it's not all Kyle's fault. Well, I'm not talking about his chances that he had at 49 head coach, because you're ahead of the ship. Yeah. When the shit goes down, you better be ready. When the shit goes down. When the shit goes down, you better be ready. When your shit goes down. I swear, if you saw that picture, I don't feel like putting it back up right now. But I was considering giving him, I was actually shooting him some bail. I said, that should not, that 28-3 collapse by the Atlanta Falcons against the New England Patriots shouldn't be held at his feet. Shouldn't be laid at his feet. That's not his fault. No. Was he the head coach? No, he was the offensive coordinator. So even if he had some asinine thoughts of, you know what, I got a quarterback, I'm going to air it out. Yeah, I know all I need is one first down and the game is over. No, but I'm going to air it out with Matt Ryan. That wasn't his. That should not have been his ultimate decision, because he had somebody else that he was supposed to answer to. There's people down in the A that still have nightmares of that day. One of them would happen to be my brother-in-law, Mr. Fat Ass Beats. Yeah, I know. Before I was corrected, no, I know it's Mr. Low Fat Beats. But people don't realize, matter of fact, I shouldn't say people, because that sounds like I'm throwing a sub, which I'm not. A lot of the public does not realize that before he became Mr. Low Fat Beats, his previous name was Fat Ass Beats with a PH. And then he realized, well, low fat, fat ass. Beats is the constant. Low fat beats. Beats, fat beat for the low. But yeah, that mother effer has nightmares to this day about the time that they were up 28-3 and they coughed up the lead. You don't want to hear me? You don't want to listen to me? Look, matter of fact, damn it, I'm gonna put this. Shanahan, you will never win a Super Bowl. What did it say? Shanahan, you will never win a Super Bowl. Still pissed off Falcon fan. I'm glad that after all these years, he's still having nightmares of that. because normally I would resort to calling this particular individual a CS. But being the fact that that's my brother-in-law, I'm going to give him the respect that I wouldn't give anybody else in this fucking world for this. Yes, that was me and him playing Madden and him beating me with those putrid ass Falcons 51-14 late night. And then he sneakily put it on Facebook. Like, who the fuck uses Facebook anymore? Evidently I do, because I got the screenshot, right? He put it up there to sprinkle some salt. Sprinkle some salt on my room. I told him as soon as I get this passing down, matter of fact, as soon as I get the rust off, he's in my crosshairs. And I will show him no mercy like Cobra Kai. Strike first, strike card, no mercy, sir. Do you know there's people that I would have cut off for less? Every time I talk about Kyle Shanahan, you know what? I'm going to refer to Kyle Shanahan in his inbox every chance I get. Because what he did to me 3 days ago and counting, I told him he's lucky we wrapped Hidden Gems football up for the season. So there will not be any type of repercussions. Well, not repercussions. Retribution. At least not on that platform. But guess what? I have my own platform. And each and every time, as long as it's in my mind that he ran up the score, don't you know this mother effer kicked a field goal with 2 seconds remaining just to make sure he could put a 50 spot on my ass? He was almost like the guy from Training Day. And I'm Ethan Hawke. And he's sitting at the table. And he's like, hey, S.A., you ever had your shit pushed in? And Ethan Hawke is like, no. And then the other guy's like, hey, S.A., I've had my shit pushed in. Oh, I liked it. Yeah. That's my brother-in-law, Mr. Low Fat Beats. Loving having his shit pushed in. You know what? I have no edit button. Don't take it literally. But yeah, I had to have some type of retribution because that mother effer did me dirty. See, I'm not even cursing at him. It's like, brother, love you. Kyle Shanahan never gonna win the big one. I done got way off track. So guess what? Makes no sense to even go into any further. And I might as well just get to exactly the main event of this episode. Speaking of having this shit pushed in, for all my video watchers right now, doesn't it look like that's exactly what Usher is doing to Alicia Keys? That hand, that gloved hand, is conspicuously placed in the area that, I mean, listen, I know when it comes to the entertainment field, especially nowadays, especially with all the allegations and information that's coming out from years and years and years of backstage parties and rituals and all that sharing shit. One for you, one pump for you, one pump for me. Two pumps for you, two pumps for me. Three pumps for you, 1, 2, 3 pumps for me. 4 pump, no pumps. So that's not actually out the ordinary. But Usher's Super Bowl halftime show was hyped. It was anticipated. People were. My daughter, main event K, she doesn't really follow football. Only thing she really knows or concerns herself about football is the following. Dad, you place a bet? Who's winning? And did you win said bet? That's really it. And of course, Super Bowl halftime show. She wants to be front and center. Last year, she was amped about Rihanna showing up. And this year, even though I actually have to scratch my head because I'm like, go to 17. Usher has been out for almost, I might say Usher's been out for at least 30 years. A lot of Usher's hits, his blockbusters, I think happened before she was born, or she was in the infantile stage. Why is she so amped about watching Usher? And get your mind out the gutter because I'm not even. Everybody knows about Usher's Vegas antics. Everybody knows about since he has a residency in Vegas, that when you go to the show, when you go to an Usher show, you're paying for Usher to disrespect you in front of your woman. And not by disrespecting you, no. By having your woman oogle and drool and wish that they could do it my way. When I say go, they want him to be like, let it burn. They want to be his boo, my boo. I swear. And that brings me to problem number 1 with Usher's Super Bowl halftime show. And I know y'all probably like, hold on. It was a mad speech. And no, it was all right. It's all right. I'm not hating. It was all right. Problem number 1, and the reason I put this number 1, because everything else is literally a nitpick. This one is absolute truth. Once I saw this figure, and I know it had been rumored, but once I saw this figure, or should I say, I heard the keys on a piano, I'm like, this broad. She just couldn't let things be. She just had to be in the fucking spotlight, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Once upon a time, I was an Alicia Keys fan. And that was once upon a long time ago. That was once upon a time where, yeah, I know this shouldn't be woman shaming, but this was once upon a time before she took Swiss Beats from his wife, his woman, the mother of his children, and pretty much was like, yeah, I'm going back in the closet for your ass. Yeah, Swizzy. Before she became the poster woman, the poster child for no makeup, which, matter of fact, That's good because look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a man that like I don't really care for um makeup on my woman. Now, I'm not gonna tell her not to wear any makeup, but I like the natural look, so I keep it to a cousin. Feels so good. Dun, 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 it feels so good. See, y'all gotta be a certain age to catch that joke. That was a brand Nubian play. I like the natural look, so I kicked it to a cousin. Feels so anyway. Check it out. All for one. Brand Nubian. Sadat X. Lord Jamar. Grand Poobah. Who can get busy like this, man? And say not a man and not find a man. Call Grand Poo, he'll give you a call. Oi! They say no other MC can say me. Yeah, anyway. Alicia Keys. She can't sing. Like maybe she was able to hold a tune back in the days. Maybe she uh formalized her music so you could kind of hide the fact that she couldn't. Some people want it all. I want nothing at all. Everything is you, babe. Like I could sing better than that broad, and I can't sing. Plus, a lot of her anthems, everything became a fucking anthem with her. No one, no one. If I heard that one, remember back in the days of MySpace, and you was able to set up your page with all the graphics and all the music, the backgrounds and all that shit. How many women did you know that you were friends with, besides Tom, that had that as their theme of their page? No one, no one, no one. Oh. I don't think I've liked this since you don't know my name. And I swear, but you. And that was the background singers. I don't know. That put a bad taste in my mouth for the rest of the performance. But I guess I'll have to go on because I probably given her way too much time. But back to this picture. This picture, that was some disrespectful shit. I'm sorry. And not even on Usher part. Everybody know how Usher get down. I'm sorry. I'm not an insecure dude. Look, when my wife used to go out, when Mrs. O used to go out back in the days to the club with her friends, with the cousins, I would actually buy her outfits to go to the club in, to go to the lounge in. Because I wanted that shit sitting nice. I wanted all the other mother effers out there to see what the fuck was coming home to me. I'll give a slap on the ass, a kiss on the cheek, and say, baby, have a good time. There was only one rule. There was only one rule when my wife would go out on the town. And that rule was wake me when you get up. Soon as I get home, I take it all from you. Baby, you do what you gotta do. Yeah, I know that's but that was the one rule. Soon as you came home, wake me up. Because I wanted the fruits of the labor. Meaning, you done danced, you done had a couple cocktails. I done wistfully waited for you to come home, to come into our humble abode, and if my wife with a reputation like this heifer right here. My wife had a reputation like this heifer. Look at her. That song was a little bit. She was feeling that song just a little bit too much. My boo, oh my oh my oh my oh. Yeah. Anyway, now another thing that I'm not going to lie, it took me a minute. Dare I say, it took me until after the performance to really, really let it set in my mind who this individual was, who this very talented female was that was sharing the stage at the halftime at the Super Bowl and getting or giving a guitar solo. And that would be H.E.R. Her. Her whole, I wouldn't say her gimmick, but our whole thing has been let her talent speak for herself. That's why, especially when you came out, nobody knew who her looked like. And guess what? It worked for me because I actually had forgot that. I was like, darn, she that gotta be somebody familiar. That sounds familiar. Like, who is that? Oh, that's her. That's her. Okay. Yeah, her. Listen, that guitar solo, beautiful, beautiful. You know, and I'm just glad that I mean she's gotten the kudos that she deserved over the last couple of years because she's an amazing artist, she's an amazing songwriter, she's an amazing a lot of things. But yeah, I'm glad she was able to get that Super Bowl spotlight. Now this is at the end of the halftime show, the end of the performance. You have Ludacris, conveniently now rocking the afro again, and the sideburns. It's almost like he's telling Cat Williams, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. I've never changed. Yeah, okay. You had Lil Jon, who I ain't gonna lie, I had to do a double take. Like, who? That's Lil Jon? Damn, Lil Jon is different. Like, like Lil Jon is Like, okay, Lil Jon. And then you had little Dutch boy. Oh my bad, Lil Jermaine Dupri, looking like CeeLo from Goody Mob, but those socks, like those socks are suspect. Actually, that outfit is kind of suspect, but I don't know. It's like he was trying to hide the fact that he's overweight. He gained like looked like he pushing like 250. Matter of fact, he could be 200 being the fact he's like 5 foot nothing. So 200 to make him look like Yokozuna out that bitch. But then you had Usher. Usher with the bodysuit looking like Giant Gonzalez out that bitch. Looking like a person from the Running Man. From the Running Man. I don't know. Like overall, the Super Bowl halftime show was great. My other nitpick that I'm gonna put down because I'm getting a little bit long winded on this is I know with 15 minutes you have to have a medley of hits. That's why, especially the bigger the artist you are, the harder it is to me to have a medley of hits because you're trying to cram everything in, or you're at least trying to give the hits. Usher, and this is one reason why this notion that Chris Brown could ever hold a candle to Usher if they ever decide to do a versus. Tell you the truth, if anybody really decide to do a versus with Usher, will have a hard time. Because 20, his top his genre. To me, that was one of the problems that I had with the Super Bowl show, Super Bowl halftime show. My wife tried to explain to me, babe, like he has 15 minutes. He can't put. He has to go like this. But it was in parts to me, it was too rapid fire. Like some of the jams, I'm like, before I was able to open my mouth, it was on to the next one. I'm like, damn. He had to cram maybe like 30 songs into that 15 minutes. When he first started, I was like, damn, I don't want to say Usher sounds off, but then I had to realize and tell you the truth, his voice did snap back. I think he realized, like, oh, okay, I'm off key. I did have to realize that he gives a performance. The show is going to be a lot of costume changes. Is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. But in particular, and I don't know why StreamYard, y'all can suck my you know what, because y'all trying to blow minds right now. Anyway, I understand. It was just starting to be too rapid fire to me. So, I mean, that was really critiques to the halftime show. My other critique, and I won't even say it's a critique, it was more like an observation. Since when did Ice Spice become part of the Taylor Swift entourage? Now, and that's no shade. That's no shade whatsoever. Because as I've said before, and I'll say it again, for homegirl from the Bronx to come from where she came from, to do the things that she's doing right now, whether or not you think you really appreciate her music, her genre music, for her to be arm in arm with the top artists in the world, point blank, not just pop artists, the top artists in the world, for her to be, I guess, on a first name basis of Tay, yo, Ice, for her to have that spotlight. And I'm not sure if it started at the Grammys last week, and she was like, yo, you look. It might, and that part, to me, that would even probably be better because it would be more organic. Yo, I hollered at you. We chopped it up. Yo, I'm feeling you. Matter of fact, yo, you're gonna be my guest. Roll with me. Roll with me to the Super Bowl. That doesn't seem coordinated to me. To me, maybe I'm being too naive, but that seems like okay. It's a good look for me. It's a good look for you. But I truly do enjoy your company, and I'm fucked with you. When I saw that, I'm like, wow, wow, that's crazy. Salute. Last note on the Super Bowl, not so much Super Bowl halftime, but all the celebs in attendance. Beyonce had a Super Bowl commercial with Verizon. in which she's saying, I'm dropping music, or she wanted to break the internet. But with Verizon, you can't break the internet because they're a nation. She debuted two singles last night, right after the commercial during the Super Bowl. And I guess that was probably the most apt time to do so because you knew all eyes were going to be on the Super Bowl. First, because it's Super Bowl. Second, because Taylor Swift is involved with one of the star players of one of the teams in the Super Bowl. So you know that was going to be it. And I wish I would have had a screen capture of this, and I didn't. That to me seemed manufactured. Matter of fact, I wouldn't say manufactured. That was planning. That was strategizing. But that little shot of her looking unbothered in the suite, and you have Jay-Z hovering in the background looking like Gary Gnu. That looked manufactured because, to tell you the truth, look, I don't even get into all the gossip when it comes to that shit because at the end of the day, don't make me know. Never mind. I could care less. There ain't no love in there. There's no love in the club. No love in the club. There was no love in the suite. They're like, look, I mean, we got kids. We're worth $1 billion together. You're worth $1 billion by yourself. I need you to help my billionaire status. I don't know. It's just something off when it comes to them. And to not get too deep, because like I said, I really don't care for so much, but there is a difference. You can see a noticeable difference in the eyes of Beyonce. There's no life in her eyes anymore. I'm not sure how many people, and I'm not even on the conspiracy theorist shit. There was always, no matter whether you liked her, disliked her, thought she was overexposed, whatever, there was always a light in her eyes that is no longer there. There was always a lightness in her voice that is no longer there. That'll probably be a topic for a later date. But yeah, that's that's my Super Bowl. My Super Bowl wrap up. Ain't that a bitch? All I want is a sandwich. Why is it so hard for you to make me a sandwich? That's all I ask for. I come home from a long day's work and I sit down on this couch and I record these podcasts and all I want is a sandwich. Well, why can't you make because it's not my job to make a sandwich. I you know what, yesterday I bought 2 sandwiches. But guess what? I didn't like the 2 sandwiches because they weren't made by you. Oscar, you're a lazy motherfucker. I may be a lazy motherfucker. But you know what would not make me a lazy motherfucker? As if you made me a sandwich that I've been asking for the duration of Hey Arnold. Oh my God. Why is it so hard for you to make me a sandwich? And why does he have a magnet? Is that a magnet or is that a horseshoe? I think it's a magnet because I think he was scheming on going someplace and trying to rob somebody of this sandwich. This mother effer right here is one of the most useless individuals in the history of animation. Because he's always begging his wife, can you make me a sandwich? I'm sitting here drinking Duff after Duff after Duff. I smell like purity shit. But I want my wife to get out of her bed and make me a sandwich. This dude right here, look, he don't even have no socks on. Dirty, nasty mother effer. With that being said, that brings us to the end of an interesting edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me and this podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. Next week, there will be no effing episode next week. You want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know why? I will tell you why. Because next week, it's my anniversary. My anniversary. Do you know what next week is? It's my anniversary. My anniversary. Yes. Not only my anniversary, because that would be selfish of me. It's the anniversary, the 25th year anniversary, the 25th year. Would that be the silver anniversary? I guess so. Of me and Mrs. Ooh saying I do. So, being the fact that my anniversary is this Friday, the 16th, and our around, there will be no episode next week. And that kind of my vacation. But my vacation, it's my anniversary. And it's almost like the anniversary of the last time that I had a problem with StreamYard. StreamYard, you see, I've been nice to y'all. Matter of fact, I'll say StreamYard slander for right before I'm about to get off because that's tainting the announcement that it's my anniversary. So next week there will be no episode. Instead of giving an episode next Monday, I'll give an episode during the middle of the week. But no, 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 no. I am taking much needed time off. So the next episode of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast will drop conveniently the day after Elimination Chamber. So I guess, I wonder what the topic, what the subject, what the synopsis of that episode will be about. But yeah, next episode of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast will drop late Sunday night, October 25th, early Monday morning, October 26th. So I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Please check out Hidden Gems Football, hosted by the Mojo King and myself, Mike Steph. New episodes drop each and every Thursday. Well, they was going to drop each and every Thursday on the YouTube page of the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group. But the reason I said was is because we just did our season finale this past weekend. So please check out Hidden Gems Football, hosted by the Mojo King and myself, Mike Steph, on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group for our Super Bowl preview. Because guess what? We preview shit. We don't recap shit. You want the recap? Well, you done just listen to the recap. If you want a detailed analysis on the recap, guess what? Check us next year and maybe we'll get around to it. But yeah, please like and subscribe to YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group because it's not like you're not going to hear from us or see us until next July. I think this year we're actually going to give a couple pop up here, pop up there about free agency, not the draft, but free agency, and just like the state of what's going on in the NFL during the off season. So we might get 1 or 2 episodes depending on how we feel. But yes, please check us out over there. Check out the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, available on the following platforms: the audio version, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, amongst others. New episodes of the audio version drop each and every Wednesday. You can check me out on the social medias at Mike Steffens __ on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Mike _ Steph on the gram, Instagram that is, and Mike Steph _ on TikTok. Yeah. like I said at the very beginning of this episode, I'm glad that I went forth in giving y'all, or should I, in recording this episode, because it did kind of help some of the feelings I was feeling, help the mood that I was in. And it's funny because now, since I'm wrapping it up, those moods, those feelings are starting to reoccur. But regardless, um, please, and I don't like asking, if it comes out naturally, it does come out naturally, but please like, subscribe, leave a comment, share alike, so we could try to expand this, because little do y'all know, next month will be the 1 year anniversary of the rebranded Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. Yes, when I fully became a YouTube entity along with my audio offerings. We're rapidly approaching the 50th episode of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. And coincidentally, when we reach the 50th episode of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, we will reach the 200th episode in the Salty Thought podcast overall. So it'll be a double. Celebrate good time. Come on. Let's celebrate. So I will, probably 5 episodes out, I'll be starting the road to 50 and the road to 200. Yeah. One last thing before I get out of here, because this is a random thought. To all my people of a certain age bracket, a certain musical taste, y'all remember Kool and the Gang, right? Celebrate good times, come on. And cherish the love we have. We must cherish the life we give. Do y'all realize that Kool and the Gang came out in the, I think, the early to mid 70s? And they had a longevity, I think, approaching the 90s. James Taylor, before I lay down by your side, was the lead man. And there was a transition from she's a bad man, pajama. No. Was it? No. Switched up my songs for a minute, but there's a song. Damn, I forgot the name of it, but I'm not trying to hold this long-winded. But there was a transition from them being like a funk group, nothing all about the band, to pretty much background for James Taylor. And James Taylor was blowing. Yeah, I think I'm going to throw this out there. That might be a topic for a certain hidden gem czar, along with his trusty companion. Matter of fact, not his trusty companion, the one and only Willie Freeman of Hip Hop Hidden Gems. Yeah, I know it's not hip hop per se, but dare I say, Kool and the Gang had a large imprint, especially on the early stages of hip hop. That's just my thoughts. That's my 2 cents. I don't know. I guess that's my way of just saying, you know what? If you're on the audio, if you're on the video, you can see exactly what I'm doing. When it comes to Hip Hop Hidden Gems, who should be dropping very soon. If you're on the audio, you can figure out exactly what I'm doing with my finger that's pointing to a certain individual that's speaking on his own mic. I'm just saying. So, with all that being said, Stitch, you got anything to say? Third Stitch, he don't got nothing to say. He's a strong and silent type, while I'm the loud and boisterous type. So with all that being said, it's time for me to get out of here. So I will see y'all in 2 weeks. Not 1, 2 weeks. Until the next edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Goodbye. Stitch, you're gonna have to step it up. Like we had a thing going on. And you just, you know, I have to have a back and forth. That's why I have you there. You're supposed to be my trusty sidekick. So when I finally, after an hour and a half of straight talking, throw it to you, you got to give me more than got to give me a, you know what I'm saying? Give me 5. All right. You know, shoot. Can't let the dashing one hang. This dashing individual, especially for my anniversary. You didn't even wish me happy anniversary. I always do that. See? Now you got me forgetting that we're still recording. So all that's now out in the atmosphere. That means you got to step up. If you don't step up, I'm going to find some replacement for you. Goodbye.